Ready?
We ready? You guys ready? Okay. Ready.
Start.
Hello, my name is Jermaine Jones, and I'm in my final Capstone class, and this is my final presentation. Oral presentation for my paper, the topic that I chose, and it is on juvenile crime and delinquency. Juvenile crime is a issue that has been around for a long time, very long time. It's nothing new. At the same time, it has progressed throughout the years. As time changed, with technology and different things, juveniles, they offend younger and they commit even harsher crimes. Here are a couple topics that I want to go over throughout my presentation. Just a few. These are some of the things that help promote juvenile crime and things that juveniles do to actually they join gangs and school violence, stuff like that, when they actually start to commit crimes and be delinquent. I want to start first with the family structure. I believe everything starts at home, and especially the family. Family is where juveniles, young people, kids, they get their in life. Everything that their parents teach them, they will begin to be. So if you have bad parenting and bad family structure at home, then you have a more or higher chance for your child or juvenile to join gangs and to be violent in school. Teen pregnancy. We'll get to all this in a little bit. But like I said, family structure. First of all, look at the home. A whole home is a mother, father, man, woman. That's a whole home. Anything else is broken. So in society, we see that there's a lot of broken homes that we have in our society today, which can lead and does lead to juvenile crime and delinquency. I don't know about your personal lives, how you grow up or grew up, but the family structure, if you had a family, or if you had a mother and a father, a husband and wife, then you had a pretty higher chance of success in life, being okay in school, getting okay grades, not really acting out. You stand on task because you had the whole structure. Nowadays, like I said earlier, the family is broken down. You got a lot of single moms, a lot of single dads, no dads in the home, and that's another big issue. No fathers in the home. Without the father figure, which is the guy who's supposed to protect and provide and rear the young child. Not saying that the woman can't, the woman doesn't, but the father is the one that, I guess, the disciplinary. And so without that guide and that guard in the home, then the family is definitely broken down, and it leads to other stuff like this. Next thing I really want to go to is gangs. Actually, let's start the label theory. When a kid is, I don't say, not really necessarily a criminal, but really a delinquent, and they're out and they're doing certain things, they're dressed in a certain way, they have their pants sagging and things like that, then they are labeled. And label theory is basically where society labels, and we all do it in some form or fashion. We label not just juveniles, we label people. We see a person with a nice shirt and tie on, we think that they're rich or they have a nice job. So when society see juveniles and young people, hanging out in crowds, they think that they're in a gang, or they see them hanging, with their pants sagging, they think they're thugs or something like that. So, we're labeled. I'm sorry, label theory. So when it happens, it can really be it can have a negative effect to not only juvenile but society itself. Because when someone labels a juvenile, labels someone, then that person has an opportunity, a chance to believe that. And if they believe it, then they're going to be that. So labeling is very dangerous. Again, we all do it. It has its positive and pluses, or positive and negatives to it, but we all do it. But it also has a very negative effect, or can have a negative effect on someone, especially if the person comes from a weak or a broken home where they don't have that structure in their mind, in their head. So if they're already labeled and they think, and someone's telling them, hey, you're a thug, you're a gangster, you're going to be nothing, then they're going to believe that, and then they're going to hence go and do what they're being told, or being called. Which leads me to my next scenario, which is gangs. It's very easy, especially if a child, a juvenile, does not have this family structure, this strong bond at home, where you're learning from 0 to 12, now even younger. You're talking about 8, 9, 10 now. If you don't have that strong structure at home from the family, then you're more likely to be labeled, like I just said, and then you're more likely to get drafted and recruited to gangs. And gangs are simply, actually, I think the Florida State statute states that a gang is 2 or 3 people, or 3 or more people doing the same activities and doing criminal acts. So if you got 3 or more people dressed in the same way, you're doing the same things, you're out there stealing, robbing, drinking, smoking, and breaking the law, then you consider it to be in the gang. And it's so easy for kids without that background to fall into gangs, to fall into all these negative things that the streets just, they eat them up. So it's very important that from the family, they get strong structure from the family, home bond. They don't really get labeled in a negative way, and they don't have to really fall into gangs. But another issue that we don't really talk about in juvenile delinquency and crime is teen pregnancy. That in itself can be very, very bad, and is bad. It has a lot of issues that I think society we don't really look at. We got these shows on TV, 13 or 16 and pregnant, and all these different shows. But the thing that we don't really look at is the cost. A lot of these teens don't have jobs, don't have insurance, don't have health care. So who is eating up the bill for these teen pregnancies, or the teens that are getting pregnant, are us. So it's society, taxpayers. Because they don't have the health care. But when they go to the hospital and they need treatment for not just the mother, but the baby, we have to eat the bill because someone has to pay for it. So that's one factor. The biggest thing is teen pregnancy just promotes broken families. Teen pregnancy can promote broken families, because if this teen is young, another thing we're going to talk about is the male. We always look at the female, but there's a male also involved in this. So if they're not together and they don't have strong bonds and strong ties and strong belief systems, then not only the teen, but the baby itself, they're going to grow up, and the vicious cycle continues and continues and continues. So that's another thing that we need to look at when we talk about teen pregnancy and society. Who's going to take care of not just the medical, but who's going to take care of these kids? You got moms who's already worked, mostly moms working 2 jobs trying to make ends meet. Now you have a teen and a baby. So who's taking care of the kids? Another issue that we need to look at when it comes to talking about teen violence juvenile crime and delinquency. There's one more point there. But anyways, another thing that happens when juveniles get delinquent and start committing crime and stuff is they have a lot of negative influences, and that can be from a gang, that can be from a family member, that can be from almost anybody, not just outside the home, but a lot of times we don't look at inside the home. A negative influence could be a bigger brother, a cousin, a sibling, it could be anybody, and they start following these negative influences. Not only just people. You can start talking about social media itself, video games. A lot of games that the kids play these days. Grand Theft Auto, that just comes top of my head, which is a game that promotes the first character game where the kid or the person playing the game can go out stealing cars, robbing people, actually picking up hookers and prostitutes, and you can actually do that in the game, and they're making sounds. So if the family's broken down, they're doing all this in there, they got negative influences, the media. I didn't even touch on social media, which, like I said earlier, times have changed. 20 years ago, we didn't have Facebook and Twitter and this and that. Now, we have all this. And sadly to say, a lot of people, a lot of teens use that to be negative. It can be very positive, but if the kid doesn't have the the structure and from home, or just the parent supervision period. They don't have the supervision period. They can make these positive things very negative. You have a fight at school. The kids are now videotaping, recording it, and they're putting it right on these social media sites, and it's feeding. Before, stuff like bullying. Bullying back then was one or two people fighting, messing with each other, and maybe 2 or 3 people around knew about it. Maybe a classroom knew about it. Now the world knows about bullying. All you got to do is just post something on the internet. You hit a click of a button, and the whole world has a chance to see that. Which, I've had a subtitle: suicide. That's what a lot of these juvenile young kids are doing, is because they can't take the pressure, because they're being bullied, and now the whole world can see they're being ashamed and they're embarrassed. They don't know what to do, so they turn to suicide. So a lot of things play a part and contribute to juvenile crime and delinquency. One of the biggest things, let me jump here to school violence. I just kind of touched on it. We've got school fights and bullying, but you look at one of the very first incidents in school violence was the Columbine incident that happened. It seemed like it, just yesterday, but it happened many years ago, where these 2 kids, they were being bullied and they couldn't take it anymore. And make a long story short, they came to the school and they shot several people, killed several people, injured many more. Just another thing that stems from broken families, gangs, labeling, bullying, and leads to school violence. School is supposed to be a place where a child goes to learn, and they're safe. They're supposed to get instructed to learn the different things in life, to be nice model citizens. So, but that also affects not just the troubled juvenile, but the children around, people in their class, in their direct vicinity, because they can't learn, they can't get the proper education because you got school violence going on. So I know I've hit a lot. One of the biggest things that can combat, or we can try to fight this issue, is positive role models. You got programs like Big Brothers, Big Sisters program. You have mentors. If you get a mentor, get all these different things. Get a positive mentor, someone that a teen can look up to. Then that will help combat some of these issues and help them realize that, hey, someone loves them, someone cares about them, and they get support. And that's the biggest thing from a role model. You want to know that the kid can trust you, that they love you. That's pretty much it, and I thank you guys, my audience, for sitting in and listening to my presentation. Thank you. Thank you.